Blancpain has just released a new 36mm Air Command. Here's everything you need to know. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Tree Crump and Low YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about a watch that has been severely underappreciated by most of us in the watch community. The watch we're talking about today is the Blancpain Air Command in both the new 36mm and 42.5mm sizes. Little is known about the origins of the Air Command, but what we do know is that the first Air Command was actually a prototype designed to be used by the United States Air Force back in 1957. 12 of these Flyback chronographs were produced, but production came to a halt when the watch was not actually selected for service. Something you may not know is that the Flyback complication was actually invented to assist with pilots' accuracy when dropping payloads. This attempt to create a military chronograph by Blancpain came on the back of the success of the popular 50 Fathoms diver, which was commissioned by the Navy through their US distributor Alan Tornick. The last original Air Command to be sold hammered at auction for roughly $110,000. Jump forward to today, and now we have two sizes of the Air Command in several different colorways. But enough about the history, let's get into some specs on these beautiful watches. Starting off with the brand new 36mm variant in titanium, we have a svelte 36.2mm diameter with an 11.5mm thickness. In between the lugs, you can find a strap size of 18mm, making this an easy watch to find aftermarket straps for. And just looking at this thing, you can tell it's going to look awesome on a variety of different styles and straps. These measurements are super impressive when you consider that this is an automatic flyback chronograph and actually the smallest one on the market today with that complication. The flyback chronograph complication, if you're not familiar with it, is essentially a way to reset the chronograph hand, but it keeps running. So it hits 0 and then starts again. You don't have to click the button in twice, allowing you to make a faster measurement of time. This is one of the many areas where Blancpain has really over-delivered. All too often a chronograph is released, and when you go to check the thickness after everything else looks perfect, you realize that it's about the same size as a tuna can on your wrist. The low profile and scaled down design makes this chronograph a sweet spot for those who have roughly 4.5 to 6 inch wrists who have trouble finding a sports watch that's going to fit properly for them. If you have a larger wrist, obviously the 42.5mm variant is at your disposal and is perfect if you really want to have that extra presence. On the dial, we have a dual register display that showcases the chronograph hours and minutes. This configuration is highly legible and helps make a busy dial appear a lot more cohesive. The Arabic numerals on the dial are an off-white sort of cream color, which gives the piece a subtle vintage vibe without tilting all the way into the faux patina area. On the outskirts of the dial, we have a tachymeter, which is used to, of course, calculate one's speed, if you're into that kind of thing. Surrounding the dial, we have a luminous bidirectional ceramic countdown bezel for interval timing. So there's a lot that you can do with this watch if you want to keep track of how fast things are moving or how long something takes. Inside the 36mm Air Command, we find the handsome caliber F188B. This small but powerful movement measures in at an impressive 26.3mm in diameter with a thickness of only 5.5mm. In total, Blancpain uses 255 components, including 35 jewels, to create this incredible slimmed down flyback caliber. In fact, from our research, it is one of, if not the smallest modern flyback chronograph movements available on the market today. So kudos to you, Blancpain, for creating such an impressive device. Inside the big brother, the 42.5mm Air Command, we have the larger caliber F388B, which increases the power reserve to 50 hours. This larger caliber measures in at 31.8mm with a 6.9mm thickness, which is still wafer thin for a chronograph, let alone a column wheel flyback with a vertical clutch. A closer look at the movement will reveal a subtle granular finishing on the base plates, accented by sweeping polished bevels throughout. The skeletonized rotor provides automatic winding that powers the watch, as we mentioned before, for 50 hours of power reserve on a full wind. Really quickly, everyone, I want to just say a big thank you to everyone watching, and make sure to hit that comment and subscribe button below to stay up to date on all of our latest videos. Now let's get back to watches. On the larger reference, we have a titanium 42.5mm diameter with a case thickness of 13.7mm. The strap sizing increases to 22mm, and overall, the watch is just a little larger. Both of these watches are available in titanium, but I'd be remiss not to mention the fact that they're also available in gold if you want to up the ante just a little bit. Allow me to throw both of these on the wrist so that we can get a little comparison of the two side by side. When put next to each other, obviously the size difference jumps out, but the features of the watch remain the same, which I think is a huge accomplishment on Blancpain's part, to be able to have the same impact of both watches aesthetically, even though the size is so different. Now, even though they look the same, they do wear differently, so if you have the opportunity, I certainly recommend trying both on because they are going to feel different on your wrist. Overall, with the new Air Command, I think that Blancpain has smashed this release out of the park, considering the fact that there aren't a lot of chronographs out there for those with smaller wrists in particular. Now, if you're interested in purchasing either the 36 or 42mm variants, both are available at our watch salon here in Boston at Shreve Crump & Lowe. Shreve Crump & Lowe is proud to be the authorized retailer for Blancpain in Boston and many other fine brands, so you can explore our website to see our entire inventory of all the different watches we carry, or just stop by and say hello. And that just about does it for today. Once again, if you've enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit subscribe and definitely leave us a comment. What do you think of the new Air Command? Thanks for spending a little time with us here today.